but I want to play Kroxa now. Kroxa now back to being the only legal escape titan. However, for the first time, Kroxa is the only legal escape titan while Arena of Glory is legal. I think that's kind of a big deal. I do think Arena Kroxa is something we've played in the past. Usually when we're Arena Kroxing, it's because we're trying some like new Rakdos cards that plays, and we play Fear of Missing Out. And because we're playing Fear of Missing Out, we want Arena of Glory because Arena is really good with that. And then if you're playing Arena in a Dragon Rage's Channel or Fear of Missing Out deck, some Kroxa is good. So that's almost always how we've played Kroxa. Sometimes we try and play Kroxa and Phlage and Faithless Looting. Those builds were always cool, never that good. Yeah, I do think Blue-White Cryptic Coat Blinked Jitte. It sounds fun enough to try. So let me pull this build up. Arena of Glory Kroxa. Is Dothi an option? So Dothi Voidwalker is not very good with a bunch of Arena of Glories. It is an option. Oh, I tried to update my stream title. I got an error. Hold on. So I've omitted Dothi Voidwalker. The list is also it's pretty full. So I decided to go with the Moonshadow shell. I do think Moonshadow's pretty underplayed. Moonshadow's been a big performer for us over almost all of its builds. Again, with all these Arena of Glories, I did not want to play Dothi Voidwalker. But we're playing Phobos, Seasoned Pyromancer, discard to Phlage. There's definitely a lot I wanted to include, like Detective's Phoenix, which is weird with Moonshadow, Nethergoyf, and it's weird with Kroxa, but you are like, maybe you should be playing one. I'm playing 4 Heat, 2 Edict as interaction. I wouldn't hate one more creature removal shell, but I wanted to main deck some Vexing Baubles also, which seems like at the time of making this comment after having played some matches today, a good decision. I wasn't sure how good it would be after, or before actually playing some rounds. I feel like staying away from the graveyard like Boros did and having Kroxa as the only graveyard payoff might be best. Yeah, maybe we'll see. I think that could be the case. And Jitte is not that powerful of a card. I'm just going to say it. It's not that powerful. For the effect you get, it's in 2026, it's not doing that much. Even if this was a format about attacking and blocking, I don't think that, like, I also don't think it would be that big a deal. It's 4 mana, -2/-2. I don't know. Games are fast, dude. Maybe we're up against Living End. You played a build with an Island Over Sink and Prismari Charm Bolt. Nice. How have you been liking Prismari Charm? I liked it in my very limited testing of it. Do you think Jitte is a bigger flop than Splinter Twin? I've been winning the last several times I've played Twin. I don't want to defend Twin because by all metrics it doesn't make sense that we've been winning with it. I think if we're playing against Living End, I'd probably just like fetch Travail main phase here. By all metrics it doesn't make sense. But I will say, like, the last, I think 3 times we've had Twin in our deck, we've had a winning record. So yes, Jitte is a bigger flop than Twin, although it's a bit early. I've only known the Analyst versions of Titan. What was the Titan doing before Analyst Loop? So it would try to assemble Valakut plus Dryad of the Elysian Grove to deal infinite damage. And thank you, Yellow Hat, for the raid. I hope you're doing well. I don't know what the hell my opponent is doing. They probably have Violent Outburst in their deck, though. Hasting the FOMO, maybe not so good. If I draw Thoughtseize, it's pretty good. I think it's Rhinos. I guess it is probably Rhinos. I didn't. So I guess we attack with the FOMO, and then if they block it, my Goyfs become big enough to just block. Cool to play against Rhinos. Andy the 40 months, what deck are you most excited to play post bans on bans? I have an updated build to the combo Badger Mole deck, which is a deck that that's the deck that I felt is like the most potentially powerful. However, had like just a very rough Boros matchup. Now the matchup against Boros with it might get not even better, but we'll see. Prismari Charm is fine when it has to do something against resolved enchantments. That's fair. I've liked it enough to keep playing it too. So even if they have another outburst, their rhinos are just getting chomped up here. Do I Thoughtseize first? So if they have another Violent Outburst, they have all these 4/4s. Yeah, I mean, I just super duper blow them out if they have another Violent Outburst. So I think I'm going to attack. Right, I guess I'm going to get Basic Mountain and Edict them. They should have Scion in their deck, by the way, if they have Xander's Lounge. All right, they pitch a Leyline in the Guild Pack. So all this to trade a Rhino for a Goyf. They have one card still in their hand, so my Thoughtseize will probably not be so good. Glad to have the Edicts available for Leyline Scion. I only have 2. We'll try to make it work. I'm down to 10. So if I haste this Goyf, I could get rid of land, fear of missing out, Thoughtseize, I guess. Let me surveil first. Maybe I can get another type in the yard, and that can inform my decision a bit more. At the moment, it seems like more likely just to cast another Goyf. I wouldn't play this in Rhinos. Probably, I don't know, maybe. And this is kind of, I didn't even mention Goyf. I mean, I don't play a lot of Goyf right now, although I do like this card a lot. But things have changed. A 4/4 is not as good as it used to be. I could make everybody's favorite play. I think I will. I think I will. And they have a swamp in play actually, so I can just hard cast it with haste. I've cast a lot of Street Wraith. I don't know if I've ever Arena of Glory Street Wraith actually. Do you like the matchup of mid range versus Rhinos? Well, what is mid range? It's a bit nebulous. All right, so we're gonna go up to a full play set of Vexing Baubles. We have 2 in the main. I think I'll just go down to 2 heats. Seems fine. Maybe a little light on instants for Delirium. I'm gonna be a 4 total. Doesn't Living End feast now that they have Instant Beat Cascade? Yes. This is a much bigger. I don't know if Gab's still here, but this is, yes, a much bigger buff for Living End than it is for Rhinos. This is mostly because Living End is better than Rhinos. This is my expert analysis. They suspend the Footfalls here. I think I'd really like to get on the board, so I'm just gonna go play the Goyf this turn, and I'll do my DRC Surveil next turn. Although I guess the problem with that is I won't be finding a Vexing Bauble in time for their Rhinos or their Cascade. I could still find it for this one. Why did I decide no Ragavan in the combo meta? Well, I did build this deck before I saw that the metagame was going to be all combo, so maybe it's wrong. That being said, I think that Ragavan is a worse one drop than Goyf, Channeler, and Moonshadow. And I just think it's the worst of the 3. I'm going to graveyard this for Delirium. My top card's an Arid Mesa, so we get to kind of freely shuffle that away. And then we're going to keep that, of course. Do you think Fable might be better to fit in Spyro to get more types? Spyro's a better top deck. I think that season it's mostly the better card. But I mean it could be. So let's go Channeler, Vexing Bauble, and then if they have Endurance, then we can Thoughtseize to they have Endurance, we can Thoughtseize to kill the Teferi still, but they don't have it. Moonshadow doesn't seem too bad here. Doesn't seem too good. I think it's going to be good enough. Take that. I guess I'm ignoring the Teferi. Do you think Dothi is still bad even with all the living ends in the format? Dothi gets better, I think. Although Dothi was good against the analyst loop, so if Titan's not playing that, that is one less reason to play it. But you know, it definitely didn't get worse, or it didn't get worse overall. Like Phlage was really good against Dothi Voidwalker. So play the Moonshadow first because it's going to grow off the Goyf and the Channeler dying. Discard the Outburst, and then not much reason to do anything else, I think. I think we could still just ignore the Teferi. When you create sideboards, you have a map which you bring out and in. Yeah, I always do that if I'm like prepping for a bigger tournament. If I'm I bring in 2 decks a stream and it takes a really long time to do that, so I don't usually just for a normal stream brew, especially when I'm still trying to figure out like what's going on and how it plays. But doing the map is definitely a big important part of like selecting a tournament deck. All right, let's keep this on the draw. That means my opponent's on the play. Can discard a Kroxa to FOMO. So we're on the draw against Prowess. We definitely need to lead on the Thoughtseize. Being able to Thoughtseize Corey Steelcutter is quite important. I'm probably going to get a basic Swamp. Is Jite Fervent Champ not good enough? It definitely does not seem like a good format for Jite overall. I will say, so I played a lot of Javier. I really like Fervent Champion. Javier, like the last like 3 times I've played it, has been not good. So I'm not 100% opposed to trying it. It does sound very fun. Channeler is like so good here for them. So my opponent does not play a Bauble because they found Channeler and they found Corey Steelcutter. So this is bad for us. I guess we could take this opportunity to play Vexing Bauble, and I think I need to play the Moonshadow first so it can grow. Have I trade Leyland Axel Champion? Yes, I tend to have not enjoyed it. Maybe my luck was poor. Kind of good for us. I don't know. It's hard to ever feel good against Corey Steelcutter, I think. But yeah, beginning to play Vexing Bauble against the Mishra's Baubles is good. Maybe I should have played the 2/3 Goyf. I do think Prowess... Historically, Prowess is very bad against Living End. This was a huge announcement for Prowess. The Prowess deck is quite good. Like, Corey Steelcutter is just such a ridiculous card, and it continues to be a ridiculous card. So I do not have Delirium. So their hand is a Bauble, 2 mystery cards. Do you think Corey will get the Oko special in every format? I think it's fine for Modern. I definitely would not be surprised if Corey Steelcutter was banned at this point or at some point. It is a top 10 Modern card. It is not well designed. I'm Corey Steelcutter is kind of like Mox Opal and Kappa Cannoneer, and that I'm thankful it gave us some action on the board against Boros for the last 2 years. Because without Corey Steelcutter, without Opal Bauble, playing to the board against Boros, there's just not that many ways to do it. And so giving new ways for different archetypes was cool. That if Boros sinks really far, potentially we'll just be wanting to retire this as well. I don't know. They moved the Channeler. Oh, this is really good because this plays so well against the Channeler in my hand. So I'm gonna play Channeler. I could make them discard a card. I think I'd rather cast this, maybe grow the Moonshadow and the Goyf. So Surveil Moonshadow in the yard, grow the Moonshadow. And then I can crack this, which gives me Delirium for the fear of missing out and the Channeler. Do I have lethal? It's actually pretty close, isn't it? Okay, so I didn't draw like a fetch land or a Street Wraith or a Bauble to help. So this is 8 damage. They block here. They weren't dead. They could jump block the Goyf and go to 3. And but they conceded. We'll take it. So you have to leave in the Thoughtseizes for Corey Steelcutter. Meltdown's not a very good answer to Corey Steelcutter, unfortunately. May just run it back. I guess I'm gonna go. One thing about they play less mutagen and gross now, so the Vexing Baubles are not as good against them. Yeah, let's just run it back. Have you tried any Rakdos lists recently with Cutter? I saw one with darts, was interesting. Namba with Vexing Bauble. We've played some. I recommend, if this is a question you have, I'm down to answer, but this is a great time for you to go to moxfield.com/user/aspiring-spike, type Corey Steelcutter, and you can find like probably 3 or 4 Rakdos builds with it. See if you like one. What are the best modern answers to Corey? High Noon, Spell Snare, Thoughtseize, Force of Negation, Spell Pierce, Amulet of Vigor. I think I have to keep 1 into 2 with a relatively painless hand, even if triple arena is weird. No fire magics on the board? No, I don't know how popular Boros is, and so I thought to myself, maybe we're free. Probably gonna die. I think I still have to play this. I thought to myself, maybe we're just free. And so I decided to try no fire magics. Could Jund Delirium with the plant from Duskmourn that puts counters be good in the show? We played a lot of that deck. It was a really fun brew. I feel like this kind of stuff tends to outperform it since we tried that build. All right, you got to kill Chandler pretty aggressively, I think. Another thing too about like Boros, like I built this sideboard and I'm like, oh, I can play like 2 surgicals. I don't need a lot of dedicated like graveyard trespassers and cling to dusts. I was pretty excited about that. So they plot a show off. I think I need to Thoughtseize so that I die less often here. Okay, I don't know how good or bad that hand is for us. Do we have a double black spells? That way I played the shock over basic turn 1. Well, I have a single black spell in my hand I want to be able to play next turn. So if I shock for, what if I have to play mountain turn 1, and then I shock turn 2. I have to play arena. I guess the arena turn 3 doesn't matter. But I didn't want to super telegraph removal spell by shocking and then passing. So I graveyard a Moonshadow, then I drew a Moonshadow. Them having double heat is, not amazing for the Kroxa. Yeah, we're on Kroxa kind of overclaying here. Is Seamrip played in Modern for things like Corey? So Prismatic Ending is usually played over Seamrip. The reality is that 1-for-1 answers, like all the cards I listed, like Spell Snare, Force of Negation, Thoughtseize, like all of these cards answer Corey Steelcutter without letting them get a token. When you let them Steelcutter, play a bunch of spells, attack you, then you untap, you kill the Steelcutter token. I don't usually find these to be like some of the premier answers to Corey Steelcutter. They're definitely okay. So my opponent does have Unholy Heat in their hand. We have plenty of Arena of Glories, so why don't we haste a FOMO here? Maybe we'll draw a Thoughtseize. Oh, so they have 1 Unholy Heat. Maybe we'll draw a removal spell. Yeah, I don't know if you want to do that, opponent. I've got the Kroxa in my yard. So I did draw Thoughtseize. Let's go to combat first. I think I'll be casting it on my turn. I think there's maybe some consideration for waiting. Interesting. I can't Thoughtseize plus Kroxa next turn because of the Exert, so I guess I'll do it now. Okay, yeah, a third heat does make sense. So next turn the Kroxa is representing 12 damage if they draw land. They're at 18. Yeah, a K command is that's true. It is good against Steel Cutter. So they bolt me down to 6. So I'm dead to another bolt off the top. I guess we don't need we can just see what they're drawing. Okay, so if they draw a bolt off the bauble, I lose. So opponent is doing me a favor, keeping it interesting. I do need to remember Delirium. So get rid of 1, 2, 3 creatures. Second Thoughtseize. And I guess an instant. Doesn't matter too much as long as we keep Delirium here. And so like this I want to stress again. This is the first time Kroxa has been legal in Modern with Arena of Glory without Phlage in the format. This is a new dynamic in Modern. Them drawing the 4th Unholy Heat be funny. Did they bauble themselves? They did. That's fun. 2040. No lands, no keeps. Okay, so we're going to keep this. We're going to put back the Edict. What you want to do with this hand is you want to look at your top card with Bauble first. If it's a land, you'll draw it with the Street Wraith. If it's not a land, you'll shuffle first. Yep, I think Boros players are going to try Mardu. They're going to try Boros. They're going to try Jeskai. They're going to try Quantum Energy. They may try something like Green-White Leo, Black-White Leo to find room for their Guide Prides. All of those are totally reasonable Modern decks. You get to current. I don't know if people are really dooming about Boros in this chat. I think people in this chat mostly know it's still going to be a good deck, but you can build a Boros deck that is full of nothing but great Modern cards still. So do not fear. 2 Blood Crypts is kind of annoying. I gotta take the Kappa. Yeah, Birthing Pod's still banned for some reason. Although Birthing Pod Badgermal would be pretty fun. I do have all 4 Meltdowns. So they do play an Emissary. They play the Canal. They play the second Crypt. So their hand is Emissary Mystery card right now. The mystery card was a Bauble. Pretty good. So I think what we should do... I think we should play Goyf and we should play Channeler. With the intention of kind of like forcing a Crypt Sacrifice on the Goyf and then being able to refill a little bit with the Heat. I lose the ability to register stock Boros and not think. Well, you only have to wait. You could do that already. People have already 5-0'd with it. It's a little bit interesting. Like, are they going to play more Voice of Victories? Are they going to play more Thraben Charms, more Ranger Captains, more Legend of Roku's, more Fable of the Mirror Breakers? Probably not without the Phlages. They may move away from Seasoned Pyromancer without Phlage. Ooh, Explosives on 1 is dirty here, dude. Oh, I thought I had the upkeep stop, although I guess I would have kept the Moonshadow. Oh, no, damn it. Explosives. All right. I don't think we're winning this game anyways. Maybe if I had surveilled into Seasoned Pyromancer, which we weren't going to do. All right, so I'm going to bring in the rest. I'm going to bring in 4 Meltdowns and 2 Vexing Baubles. How do we feel like Kroxa is against them? They're playing a lot of Blood Crypts, so I think probably no to Kroxa. Kroxa bad counter +1. I think I'm not a big fan of these Unholy Heats either. They do kill Imri. Maybe I'll play 2 or 3. Maybe not. I think I'm kind of interested in going down on Goyfs too against all these Blood Crypts. Moonshadow's not bad against it. This leaves me at 17 creatures. Already subtracting the Street Wraiths from that total. Is that right? It feels like that's high because we have... Okay, it is 17. Wait, no. It says here I've got 20 creatures in. Okay. I think I saw 21 here and I counted that as creatures, not the 20. Yeah, Boros getting access to Rest in Peace and or Sanctifier in Vec. It is interesting. So Sanctifier in Vec is actually, it's a pretty good sideboard card against Prowess. It's not amazing, but I think it's pretty good. Although it's worse because the Quarry Steel tokens are white. Coco Waffle with the Twitch Prime, thank you. Hey, Spike, you hear you calling for Birthing Pod on ban a lot. It's worse than Ritual, but you never seem to address Pod as a one-card combo that wins the turn you play it, while Ritual's incremental to value engine. I'm pretty sure I addressed that today, but that's fine. We have talked about it. So one thing is, it is true the two cards they are going to play similar, in that in your Birthing Pod deck you are going to have some value engines that are similar to Birthing Ritual, and they both sack creatures to go up on mana value. But that being said, the one card combos like untap, it's like it's kind of like how do I put this? Your deck sucks. Your deck is awful because you have Corridor Bonders and Kiki Jikis and Restoration Angels and Kitchen Finks or whatever. Your deck is awful if you play the one card combo loop. And so like that's if you remember when Birthing Pod was legal the first time, the one card combo loop with Kiki Jiki was not the preferred way to play Pod because your deck was awful with that configuration. Like you do have to make some concessions for card quality. Okay, I guess we're gonna keep this and lead on Vexing Bauble. We're on the play against Affinity. And so I don't even really think of Birthing Pod as like that, because that wasn't the best way to build Pod 15 years ago, and not a lot has really changed about those builds, maybe a little bit. I will say I'm a little bit interested to see what Birthing Pod might be like. Okay, I guess we'll go FOMO discard Goyf. I'm a little bit interested to see what Birthing Pod might be like with Badgermole Cub. I think that Badgermole Cub combo loops would be kind of interesting. Explosives is good against our deck, huh? Just realized Street Wraith Bauble are slightly more likely to find silver cards. Is this a consideration deck choice? It should be. Like Meltdown, and you just want to draw as many Meltdowns and Charmaws as you want. While they don't sack the explosives. They totally own me. We tried Hammer Time with Jite and Mono White Meteor Sword, and it did not go very well. If Shaman gets unbanned, is there any tier 2 decks that get benefit from some copies? It's Yawgmoth, and maybe some Frog variants, and maybe Esper Blink. Might be sacking. I don't think I can afford to sack the Vexing Bauble. I don't know. I've got this. When I bubble for delirium, my Vexing Bauble. I'm trying to bait them to pop the explosives. I might need to do it end of turn. I can try to dig for Meltdown too. Yeah, I'm not sure when we're gonna get to the Glimpse deck. I'm also really excited about the updated Badgermole combo. I'm probably gonna go like 5-ish hours today, and we don't need to get to everything today. The power of Shamans being a turnable mana dork that's not embarrassing late game. Graveyard Hate's also nice. Yeah, for sure. Although I think it's super interesting that Shaman does not work with Badgermole Cub. Like Badgermole Cub is the best way to build a green mid-range deck in Modern. So like the window to like unban Deathrite Shaman and have it being like meaningfully good may have closed. I don't know. Cub is so good in these mid-range decks. And like I think I would probably be playing Halfling over Shaman because of the Cub synergy most of the time. I think in like more pure mid-range decks, like if I'm playing a Thoughtseize deck, I'll play Shaman. Enough about main deck consigned decks now. I think it's too early. I just want to see what the metagame's like first. But you could. Meltdown. Feels so bad to like have double Bauble, Channeler, Street Wraith in play, and I just maybe can I like just like say I'm gonna find a Meltdown here, I'm gonna lose, but they could also have Rebuke. I think it's okay. I get a lot of looks that I've got 4 Meltdowns, and I kind of don't know that I'm gonna win without it. Shaman is not that great of a green mana dork, but it's the best black mana dork. I mean, I think it is the best green mana dork ever printed, but I see what you're saying. Like we could have made just both 7/7s, and their draw lined up pretty dang good against mine. I think I'm gonna hope for Delirium off this and attack for 8. I don't really see another avenue to victory. And we missed. We do get Delirium after this resolves, but then they just have a good block. I think we're gonna move on. 2-1. Even without the double mana, Cub replaces itself with Sincha and turn 2 with any dork. Yeah. Does Shaman work with Cub? No, you don't get the extra mana if you make mana with Shaman with Cub, the way it works. Why not Shadowstorm instead of Meltdown? I'm a 19 land deck, man. I got 19 lands. I can't cast 4 drops. I'm not that. I don't have it like you. I don't have 4 mana laying around for 4 drops. I got to play 1 mana Meltdowns. A Black Blaze Blink that would probably still love Shaman. Yeah, I think so. Which I think is what you were going for. All right, we'll try this. Yeah, I have to Klarna Kroxa. I can't afford 4 mana up top, so I have to put it in the graveyard for later. Now the Phlage is banned. Do you think Professor Dellen fell might be playable just a life gain synergy? Absolutely. No, I don't think Ice Coffers would like Deathward Shaman. All of your ramp needs to be land based. I would like almost definitely not play it. How's Kroxa doing? It's been pretty good. We won a game because we hasted it with Arena. Shaman would be a good answer for Phlage both legal. It's a little weird because if like Shaman's in play, you could just kill it with Phlage and let it go to the graveyard after. But it isn't exactly bad against it. So likely our second match against Prowess. We did beat them the first time we played against them today. Happy to draw a 3rd land for the Seasoned Pyromancer. I guess I should have played Arid Mesa because I'm never getting basic Swamp here. Maybe I'll get basic Swamp off this. Are we considering Lotus a Titan hit? I mean, that's all it was. It was a Titan hit. I do think it's weird that they banned, like, I don't even know, like, what number powerful card Lotus Field is in Titan. I feel like it's probably behind Amulet, Primeval Titan, Urza's Saga, maybe Summoner's Pact 2. I would probably put it behind Summoner's Pact, although it's kind of arbitrary. So I think it's a little bit weird, but I'll take it. Did the BNR testing totally up in my SOS? A little bit. We were getting close to like, we had probably like 2 more. Oh my gosh, sorry. I meant to cast Seasoned Pyromancer. I'm having a harder time talking and playing than I usually do today. Have we seen any non-Lotus Titan decks and leagues yet? Not yet. Oh, and they are not playing Prowess. Are they playing the Reanimator deck? What the fuck? This is like running into your ex-girlfriend. Yeah, I do think it's because I'm excited. Do you see the iteration list playing 4 Flow State 4 iterative? I didn't see it. I think that's fine. I think figuring out the split will take some time. Sorry for the rhyme. I guess I'll sack the Vexing Bauble and or I guess I don't want to trigger the Ledger Shredder. Okay. So I guess shouldn't have sacked it there. Dr. Pat with the 9 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Maybe triggering the Shredder was fine. Was the Black Lessons deck just a flash in the pan? Now people be packing Graveyard Hate for Living End? I mean, I don't want to. I don't know if I'm bursting anybody's bubble. That deck was always like a player got very lucky with a very cool build. It was. I think it was always kind of doomed to be that. Could save. I guess we'll save the Bauble for the Moonshadow next turn. We'll be triggering the Shredder anyways since it survived. I know everybody loves that deck. It was very fun to play. I'm not really of the opinion that that was ever going to be a deck that had like long lasting power. They discard a Thoughtseize. I think they're just out here playing value Ledger Shredder. They discard a Spell Pierce. Maybe I do want to play the Bauble. I think I should play the Bauble. I've got so much mana next turn. So get punished for the upkeep, sacrificing a bauble. Now they can get an extra Bowmaster trigger. My opponent's playing Grixis midrange, chat. I know it's weird to see a deck like this, but they're playing Grixis midrange. Rough thoughts on a tablet trash for treasure deck? Seems like you're not going to get to draw a card with the trigger very often. Yeah, they might be playing Flow State and Iteration. In most of your blue-red decks, you're going to play both instead of just one. All right, so one of these is mine, one of these is theirs. They have a Bowmaster in their hand, and they chose not to Bowmaster. What does this tell us? I don't know. I'm going to attack. Maybe I should play Moonshadow first. Yeah, I guess I may. Oh, the Moonshadow just dies to Bowmaster. In the luck, it has been drowned. So we're going to re-escape the Kroxa. We're going to have no cards in our graveyard left. So I guess I'm just not going to play another card because it triggers the Shredder and dies to the Bowmaster that we know about. I'll still tap like a civilized human being. Too much sauce to add lesson package. The lesson package is not that good. It's not so good you would play it in a deck like this. It is like specifically you have to be comboing with like Soul Trader or Crypt of Academe. It's a package that only goes in like synergy decks. Reanimator or Soul Trader, probably that's it. They discarded the Bowmaster, although they could have another, and I still don't want to trigger the Shredder if I don't have to. Shredders, I should say. Let's go, dude. Let's go. My opponent says, yes, I'm playing Ledger Shredder over Corey Stocutter, and I don't care. So I get attack for 4, down to 8. I draw a useless card. I don't know, I guess I'm just going to jam it on. The more we trigger their Shredders, the more we get to see of the deck. They graveyard a Bowmaster. Is there a world where Casey Jones, Kroxa, and Consign is in the same deck? Yeah, definitely could try it. This doesn't trigger on tokens, right? Oh, it does trigger on tokens. Okay. You're the Jitte counter. I'm going to leave it up. Wait. Permanent cards, that's right. Tokens, not cards. It's confusing because Super Shredder triggers on tokens, but this one doesn't. We are dead to them conniving 2 spells away. Definitely dead to that. Cool deck. Well, we got to outgrind him. Losing game one's going to be tough because they're going to bring in a good bit of graveyard hate. Kroxa grow and a Grixis Shadow build, access to Stub and Consign. So, and I tested a lot of like 8 shadows with Moonshadow, and I definitely found Rakdos to be the best of the builds. I wanted to go a little bit bigger on this because like a bunch of arenas is a bit awkward with all the black shadows, although you could go more that direction for sure. Let's keep. I think I'm interested in Thoughtseizing turn 1. This way my Goyfs don't die to Bolt. You can Snapcaster a period in, it's fine. I want to revisit Lamplight Phoenix with Violent Outburst into Altar, but how do you find your Phoenix? Goobish with the Twitch Prime, thank you. We're going to test the Glimpse deck. At some point, yeah. I don't know if I'm going to play that or the Badger Bowl deck next. We've been Thoughtseize bugged. I think I kind of got to play this before cycling the Wraith. Land. Uh-oh. Maybe a classic Mana Screw versus Mana Flood kind of game. The Shredder's it's so good. It's so good. Oh, sorry. I'm playing way too fast today. I'll take my headphones off. Moonshadow has Menace. So they are going to Snapcaster their Preordain. Shredder eats Prowess. I mean, it is historically pretty good against Prowess. The Prowess deck is way stronger than it used to be. Why did we ever stop playing Shredder? I mean, it did stop testing very well. So hopefully I didn't draw our second Black Source too late. They're at 13. I'm at 9. This Vexing Bauble is +4 power for me. Anytime they kill, if they kill one of my Goyfs, my Moonshadows grow. They fetch a basic mountain. They play another Shredder. And then they cast Unholy Heat targeting a Goyf. So this only removes 1 power from my board. They discard an Expressive Iteration. Then they discard a Bloodstained Mire. My Moonshadows become 3/3 and 2/2. They can't attack with this because this is just a 2/2. I might have to block. If I block here, I go to 5. Maybe I need to kill them. No, I think I need to block. At the moment, I'm not dead. Or sorry, I am dead this, but I think trying to find like an Unholy Heat could be a line. I don't know. Maybe I have no lines. I think drawing a Thoughtseize, I have no lines. Yeah, Shredder does trigger your own Moonshadow Connives. Right, let's keep this. Hate drawing that. Remember they kept trying to keep burn a deck and kept pushing cards for it? No. I don't remember that ever happening. Dude, I drew land. Come on. Yeah, I'm gonna play a Glimpse combo next. $19 lands in this deck. I left the good bad counter on the screen for oh geez. I left the good bad counter on the screens for these questions. So I guess if I surveil FOMO and then something else into the yard, we can kill this. So there's something else. Exactly fear of missing out off the top. No. All right. I guess I could have gone upkeep and try to hit that. It's game 2. Vexing Bauble is very good against them. Subs all their free spells and their Shardless agents. I guess I'm going to go down 2 Mishra's Baubles when I bring in 2 Vexing Baubles. Holy early scoop. That was an early scoop? That was not an early scoop. You're kidding me. We were 0%. So I think we want to go turn 1 Goyf into turn 2 Channeler plus Thoughtseize, get the Surveil. Could you have attacked with FOMO, see if they blocked it? If they did, it's only 4 damage on the 5 toughness. I think it was an easy concession there. This hand is not flooded. Let's go. No, because then you have Delirium. But they still just block the FOMO, and then my FOMO's not dead. And my FOMO's dead, and their Oculus has... Oh, you want to attack first to get Delirium, I see. I don't know. We're just if we just throwing away like one of the only spells we have when we're so flooded isn't really an avenue to victory either. But I see what you mean. So that's great value with the arena and the extra type here. I think they're gonna pitch endurance. I think they're gonna land on pitching endurance, which is awesome to get kind of the free 2 for 0 here with the bauble still in our hand. Without the bauble still in our hand, it would feel worse. So take the birthing ritual, play the bauble. We could hit delirium if we hit FOMO. Not that crazy lucky. Only attacking for 3 with the Goyf the turn that we got enduranced. I think we should crack main phase for the extra damage. I do think 1 extra damage is gonna be better than the info of waiting till their upkeep. One says Thoughtseize glitch, so we're getting birthing ritualed. And I don't know if it's gonna matter too much. We get to go haste, fear of missing out, get delirium, attack for a lot of damage. Is this a turn 3 kill through an endurance? It is. Wow. Through an endurance and cast a Thoughtseize. Crazy. This is as good as this draw was, that's as bad as our draw last game was. Does this mean you can play Murktide again? I do think uptick in prowess, Phlage ban, like your Phlage decks take up your graveyard exiling slot. There's not a lot of overlap between Murktide and Phlage, but this has to be a net negative for the card, or sorry, net positive for the card Murktide Regent. All right, I guess we'll keep this. I think I'm gonna put back the second FOMO because I want to try to Wraith into a 1-drop. I have a lot of 1-drops, and so I'm twice as likely to find it if I keep the Wraith. I want to keep the Arena Phlage in my 3rd lands. Looks like old Hollow One Moonshadow's build. Is that good? I've never seen it play before. Hollow One Moonshadow's good. There's like basically like 3 Rakdos Moonshadow builds. There's 3 Rakdos Moonshadow builds. There's this deck, which is more mid-rangey, like kind of traditional Thoughtseize mid-range. There's Hollow One, like you're describing, and there's also a Death Shadow build that I think has tested very well. I'm interested in trying that build as well, but this build gets to play more Arena of Glories, which is why I decided to go with it first. So I'm going to get my basic swamp to play around Harbinger. Arena plus Phlage. Who's going to tell him? Or did I say Phlage? Who's going to tell me? How am I down a game on the draw? We just won it. This is game 3, so it seems like the record tracker is broken. So you want to play this main phase 1, so if they counter it, we get Delirium. I said Phlage, okay, sorry. They did not counter. Oh, sorry. I thought we would get Delirium. Oh, sorry, we get Delirium if they counter. They did not counter. They have a Force of Vigor on top. Trading this is kind of okay because it stops Birthing Ritual from being such a crazy. Yeah, I think I'm actually down to trade because of Birthing Ritual. Yeah, they know that's a good trade for me. I see Jitte counter was on screen. How bad was it? It was mostly just like awful in the matchups. It was more awful in every matchup we played than it was just like miserable to cast. It also did not stabilize us against a creature deck one time, and we boarded it out because it was unplayable in the matchup several times. It sat and played doing nothing several times. So we can Edict in response to the manifest trigger to clear this. Will I circle back to mono green or board Maverick at some point? I would definitely really like to. I like that deck a lot. I think it's likely well positioned. I would definitely like to a lot. I am playing I have an updated build of the combo Badger Mole deck, and I've incorporated Fnatic and Trudge into that build. I'm pretty excited for. I haven't been on Twitter in over a year, but I did get a lot of shit for saying Umezawa's Jitte was bad last time, or back when I was on Twitter. So I guess I don't need to dunk on anybody. I'm better. No, I don't need to. I don't. It's fine. Silver Furch. Sorry if I butchered that, but thank you for the 4 months. So this is an endurance, or it's a Oculus. Let's just let it go. They're gonna flip it up probably, and if it's endurance and be able to sack it to the ritual. It is an Oculus. Backs. I don't know what happened. Internet went out. First time it's happened in a long time. Of course it happens in crazy week here. I also don't know. I USB tethered my phone. Like in the second I USB tethered my phone to the computer, it came back. But it's I'm looking and it says I've got my normal one, so we'll just see. I had to restart Magic Online. I don't know if this is Magic Online lag or normal lag. I think it just might be I restarted Magic Online lag. All right, now the clocks aren't moving. I guess I'm gonna restart again. I'm gonna wait for the loading Magic Online thing. Yeah, the Umezawa's Jitte sends its regards. Click no response. It cut out at like such a tense moment too. So I just draw a land for turn. So if I go fetch shock into Arena of Glory Kroxa, I can keep Delirium, right? So I get to get rid of Wraith, Arid Mesa, Vexing Bauble, Mire, Mishra's Bauble, and then I have a 3-card Delirium pile. The problem with this is my opponent can just tank this. They can tank this hit, and they can attack me for exactly 7, and I don't have another basic land to fetch for the Mire, so I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die if that happens. So I can play Blood Crypt instead. I can haste the Kroxa. I can get them Hellbent. Do we think that they may have held a land in their hand? Doesn't really make any sense. Besides bluffing this exact situation. I have to attack with the Channelers. I can't leave one back. Alright, I think I have to do this. We can guarantee Delirium next turn off of the fetch. So 2-0 to 2-3, pretty big swing. Pretty big swing. We did definitely draw like a lot of awkward hands. I do feel like we were too reliant on the graveyard in this build. I think I'd be interested in circling back with a build that's not playing so many graveyard focused cards. That being said, I do think it's probably a good time to move over to Cascade Glimpse. I do think that the build, I wasn't sure I was going to play this. I think it became interesting enough to try. I found a build that I was like pretty happy with. The idea, obviously, Violent Outburst is unbanned. The idea is like wistfulness.